Good evening. Happy New Year, everybody. We're so happy to see you and thankful to have you join us this evening. We're going to be rolling out our bold initiatives for 2024. The bold initiatives is something that we began last year, and so the title of tonight's presentation is Unlocking Innovation: A Glimpse into Our 2024 Initiatives. And so we have many of our board members here tonight on this webinar, on this virtual town hall. And so these are the specific individuals who are going to participate tonight. Beth Collier had a personal conflict came up at the last second. And so I will be playing the part of Beth tonight. So sorry about that. Sorry, you'll be you won't get the true Beth experience. You'll get the partial Beth experience through Bob. The way we'll set this up is just a little orientation. We'll go through each one of these bold initiatives. There's 9 of them, and we'll go through them one at a time. And so we'll have each person give a little insight into them, into each one, and almost like just a little teaser about it. And what we really want to do is leave enough time at the end of this so that we can have some conversation with you guys, so you can really focus on the parts that you're the most interested in. So we'll ask that you hold your questions until the end, and because we really like to create some engagement and conversation at the end. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And so the first one that we want to share with you is this concept of the Grant Innovative Practice Awards. And this is something that's a huge investment on the part of the AOPT, that each quarter we're going to award 3 grants of $1,500 each to 3 different members who put in a grant application, and for an innovative practice concept. And they will there'll be a review panel, and the panel will review the applicants, all the applications that we receive, and at the end of each quarter they'll award 3 individuals with a $1,500 award. And there's no ties to it. There's no links that you have to do anything with it. It's just you get the money, and it's just a congratulations for doing a great job, for being innovative. And that'll happen each quarter in 2024. And we think if this turns out to be successful, that this I would love to see it something that goes on beyond 2024. So that's the Innovative Practice Awards that we're going to begin this coming year. So the next thing is I'm going to turn it over to Terry, our executive director, and let her share this bold initiative.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. As Bob mentioned, I will be talking a little bit about how we created our AOPT Communications Team within our staff. So AOPT did not always have a marketing or communication person on staff until 2018, when we first hired a marketing student intern, and that was a part-time position. The main responsibility for that position was to get us to use social media more. We were definitely not involved in that too much at that time. He worked for us until he graduated in 2020, and after he left, we realized how important communicating with our members was, both on a variety of platforms and on a regular basis. It became very apparent to me that communications was the central hub of our organization, and it's very vital to getting out our message on everything AOPT does for its members. I then decided to hire a communications consultant to come up with a plan for building a communications team within our staff. So in July of 22, the consultant gave a presentation to the board of directors on what a communications team would look like for us and how it could be built. The board did approve that plan, and on January 2nd, 2023, we brought on our first full-time communications coordinator. She soon became overwhelmed by the amount of work there was to do, so our second student intern was hired in the summer of 23. Seeing how talented these two individuals were and the value that they brought to AOPT, we offered a permanent position to this student intern. She started full-time with us on January 3rd of 2024, and she became our second communications coordinator. In addition to these staff members, we've been working for a couple of years with Jimmy McKay, who has both a PT and a communications degree. He's been instrumental in brainstorming with the team to come up with innovative ways to offer our products and to get the message out to our members on what we are doing for them. We have a great start on building this team, and the next position we plan to bring on staff in about a year or so is a communications manager. We have seen a lot of positive return on our investment by developing this communications team within AOPT, both financially and with the audience reach we've had. I believe we're heading in the right direction and look forward to continuing to see more of these positive impacts.
Thank you so much, Terry. And we're so excited to see what the communications team is going to be able to do for us. That, we've done so well, honestly, sharing our products and selling things and doing great without that. And I just can't wait to see what we do with a high functioning communications team. So we're going to move on to the next bold initiative, which is implement digital technology learning initiative. And so the board has been investigating this for a while, and we finally identified a organization that we're going to actually we're in the final phases of establishing an MOU with. And so I'm not I don't have the ability to share who that is yet because it's not finalized. But the intent and purpose of this is, again, we've been creating such great educational products for so many years, but we believe that we can take it to a new level, and we can do so much better in terms of the making those educational products that we've been creating, make them more engaging, make them, quite frankly, more fun, make them, just better learning experiences, for the individuals that are participating in them. And so we're moving forward with investing in this initiative, and this will take place in terms of the building through 24, with really a rollout in 25. And so really excited to see what this what this is. Essentially putting our the way we talk about it, it's putting our educational products on steroids. And excited to see the new look that they're going to have and the impact that they're going to have on the learning for our members. So that's the digital technology learning initiative as one of our bold initiatives. So the next one is I'll invite Derek Suecki, to one of our directors, to talk about the DEI committee. Derek is the chair of the DEI committee. So go ahead, Derek.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us this evening. Just letting you know it's 70 degrees here in Southern California.
Oh,
so we're enjoying our cold streak here in California.
that was brutal, Derek.
Yeah, 70. We're freezing. I have my puffer on today. I've been involved with the AOPT board for the past 3 years, and ever since I've been involved, we've had a focus and desire to improve ourselves in the space of DEI. And over the past 3 years, the challenge always been, we have this vision of where we want to go, but how to start to implement that and trying to make it inclusive and something that's flexible and fluid enough to be able to change and adapt to the needs that we have now, but in the future as well, has always been a challenge for us. And so over the past year, we've been working hard to try and figure out how to address that. And one of the things we've started to come up with is we really need something that in place that's going to survive beyond me and into the future, not just a single person, but something that can survive into the future and to as long as the academy is in existence. And so we start to put together a structure. And when we say a restructure of the DeI Committee, it's really building a structure, because we really don't have a structure involved yet. And so what we're doing is we're putting together a framework of a DEI structure that will involve multiple pieces and multiple people and multiple entities involved as well, because it's just not myself, and it's not just my view. It should be the view of multiple people, leaning into the concept of DEI, and each person adding their own voice and lens to make it something that is not just one person's view. And so the board, you'll see, has really made it a mission to make this a priority. And you'll see this as we get further into the talk, how this is kind of implemented into our future direction. But for us, the DEI committee, we're in the process so close, like very, very close to rolling this out. I would imagine that we're probably, by the end of CSM, we'll have the structure of the DEI committee. And I'm not at liberty to say what the structure is going to be yet, because we really haven't fully hashed it all the way out. But it's likely going to have 3 components that will, each head of it will be involved in a specific task in the DEI space. And it'll allow future leaders to come in to play a role in that and help shape the direction the DEI committee is going to go. But I can say that that the board knows how important this is, and it's put its money where its mouth is. It's hired the staff that will be supporting this DEI initiatives, and it's put 2 of its board members, myself and Taylor, in charge of overseeing this committee so that we can move forward. And I know my time is about up, and so I just want to say, look for us in the next month or 2, really give you a better idea of what the structure of this looks like. We're so close, and so it should be rolling out in the next month or so.
Thank you so much, Derek. All right, moving on to the next is our new strategic plan that begins this month in January and goes through 26. And so I'll invite our Vice President, James Spencer, to introduce that to you. And I'm going to actually go up to the next page where this is a graphic of our new strategic plan.
Great. Thanks, Bob. I get the treat here of trying to make the strategic plan exciting, but I do think it is something we should be excited about. I mean, these are the 4 big topics that the Academy is going to be working on over the next 3 years. These 4 topics are going to guide us every time we're trying to put together a project or an initiative, or we're going to act on something. We're going to look back to these 4 strategic drivers here and reflect on it and say, are we moving positively in the direction of these topics? So I hope they are topics that excite you, because we believe strongly that they are the topics we should be working on for our membership and for the profession. I first wanted to point out up top, along with the vision and mission, we have our commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion that spans across all 4 of these strategic drivers. Our first strategic driver is excellence in practice. This is nothing new for the Academy. We have for a long time provided high-level education, supported research, and really had the experts in the field putting out resources. As you heard Beth stand-in mention earlier, we are looking at some new ways of delivering these resources to our membership and to the profession. And hopefully through those new ways, we can expand our reach into a larger portion of the profession and really push best practices. Next on strategic drivers is member and profession awareness. This means a lot of things. Awareness within the profession, but of non-members of the Academy and the association and the kind of work we're doing. awareness of other medical professionals, of physical therapy and how we can be useful. And of course, awareness of the public of when they should be seeking out a physical therapist. I've been a physical therapist for 16 years now, which still keeps me in the first half of my career, but it's been long enough to see a tangible change in the time I've been practicing of how the public appreciates us and what they know about us. But we still need to be shouting from the rooftops. And I think this all harkens back to what you heard Terry say about building a communications team at AOPT. And I think soon we're going to have a much bigger platform to shout our message to the masses. Payment and value is, I think none of these things live in a silo. And I think you can find a payment and value thread in every single one of these 4 strategic drivers. Matt Hyland's going to talk about the payment consortium a little bit later, which will be the main driving force to advance payment and value. That's a path that we started down several years ago with an increased focus on payment and value. But we came into this collaboration with private practice and APTA about a year ago in the payment consortium. And of course, Matt will tell you about it, but I think that it's the biggest and most focused effort this profession has ever had on payment, and it already has some big wins. And finally, we have professional well-being, which of course harkens back to payment and value, because how can you have professional well-being if you're not being paid adequately for your immense expertise and education? But it means a lot of other things too. It means addressing administrative burden, burnout, and the debt-to-income ratio in our profession. We really want physical therapy to continue to be a desirable field to go into, and for people who are already in physical therapy, for them to want to stay there. And I think this particular strategic driver will be a guiding light for us. You know, we always need to go back to thinking when we take action on a particular project or initiative, how does this affect the well-being of individual PTs and PTAs working in the clinic, and of course their patients too. So we could talk for hours more about this, and the board certainly has. But thanks for your time on that.
Thank you so much, James. Appreciate that. Moving on, we're going to move on to Tara Fredrickson, the Assistant Executive Director on staff, to talk about our communities platform.
Hi, everybody. So over the past 4 years, we have been using an email marketing program put out by a company called HireLogic. And the program is called Informs. And we've been using that to communicate with our members. The program has very much helped us to successfully communicate with more members than ever before in years past. And that's mainly due to the ability it has to break through most organizations' firewalls. So we're able to be the good spammers, in other words. So in addition, we've been able to bring AOPT branding into our communication to make our messages more eye-catching. And as a result, what I'm seeing is our engagement has definitely been on the rise. And because we're looking for ways always to enhance our communication with our members, and as a part of this being an ongoing priority that we have, we're pretty excited to incorporate an add-on to our email marketing program. And it's also put out by HireLogic, and it's called Communities. And so Informs and Communities, work together very closely to build member-specific pages that will help to personalize what our members are going to be seeing. And I've been asked if a communities page will be similar to, say, a Facebook page. And even though I've referred to these new community pages like Facebook pages on steroids, it's actually, there's a difference in this, that the platform will allow our members to connect and discuss, share ideas in a secure member-only space. And so, of course, our hope is that this will help in building a more engaged, interactive membership community. What it's going to entail, we are just breaking into learning what all is going to be brought in for our members. And we do know there's going to be member-specific targeted areas on our members' communities pages, individual communities pages, based on what their interests are. And a lot of this information will be generated by our membership database. which also will be integrated and talking back and forth to this platform. And we also are able to pay attention to the behaviors of our members, how they're reacting to our emails, what they're clicking on. So yes, we're creeping on all of you members, but for a good reason. And so for an example, if you're interested in a specific independent study course, you may see more information showing up on your page regarding similar offerings, or if you're a member of a particular SIG, information communicated by that applicable SIG or SIGs that you belong to will also be available on your page. So instead of combing through your never-ending inbox of emails, we hope that our communities platform is going to, provide you with a much more streamlined path to the information you really want to receive, and conversations with your colleagues, your AOP team member colleagues that pertain to you the most. My goal is to launch our communities platform in May. So that right now is what we're heading towards, and we hope to see that come to fruition during that time frame.
Thank you so much, Tara. Appreciate all that, and it really does sound very exciting. So next bold initiative, I'm really excited about. These two items are both research and public policy agendas, and so I'd like to invite Matt Hyland, who's the chair of our practice committee, to talk about these two items.
Yeah, thank you, Bob, and thank you everybody for joining us tonight. It's an honor to serve you on the AOPT Board of Directors. Consistent with our strategic plan, as James highlighted, we created a consensus conference on October 21st of last year to try to help us establish a public policy and research agenda for AOPT, putting a focus in place as to where do we want to be in the next 2, 3, 5 years. And that meeting was led by Amy Seitz and I and our friends at McKinley Advisors, who we've worked with for a while now. And I'm excited to say that at our December Board of Directors meeting, AOPT Board of Directors meeting, we passed our public priority agenda, which included 3 drivers, which are payment, access, and workforce. And the next step of this is to put out a call to membership to ask you to see if you'd be interested in joining our new public policy committee under the practice committee, work group under the practice committee. So keep an eye out for that, as we need to create goals and measurables underneath those 3 drivers. From the research agenda side, that group worked very hard as well, led by Amy, and they're still in the final phases of creating a proposal to the AOPT board and identify next steps. So keep an eye out for that, and we'll keep you informed. So exciting times in public policy and research here in AOPT.
Thank you so much, Matt. And it is exciting to see the, in a sense, the maturation of us as an organization to get to the point where we do have our own research and public policy agendas to help guide us. So thank you very much. So the next item is the this concept of engagement communities, and I'll share a little story. It was a couple of years ago. We were at a finance committee meeting, and there was a couple of us at dinner one night, and I always try and bring up little topics to talk about, and quite frankly, we've had struggles with students, trying to create a student group within our organization, and there's just the churn is just too great for within our SIG structure, because there was so much governance and so much pomp and circumstance, and it just didn't work for the students. And so one of the things that came out of that was this concept of an engagement community, which is a similar structure to the SIGs, but a lot less governance, a lot less burden, a lot less pomp and circumstance. And so we went ahead and we've now formed these engagement communities, and so far they've become very, very popular. We've had a health promotion and wellness group form. We've had a student group form. We've had a PTA group form, and there's several other groups that are in the chutes that are in the process of moving towards becoming engagement communities within AOPT. And really, at the end of the day, it's an opportunity where people can come together. It's like coming to a coffee house and just it's a hangout, where people who have similar interests, who have similar, practice interests can share resources, they can share ideas, they can brainstorm. If they want to create some educational activities, they can do it. If they want to work on some research together, they can do it. But there's no requirements that they have to do anything. So it's all of the positives of things that they can do without the burden of things that they have to do. And so we're really excited about this concept of engagement communities. And again, so far it's been resonating very well with several groups. And particularly, like I said, the students who we've struggled with forever to get going. And so we've finally been able to create a home for students that seems like it's something that they're really interested in. And so we're able to finally move forward with a student group. So that's the engagement communities. And ready to move on to the our last of our bold initiatives is the Payment Consortium. And so I'll pass that on to Matt to take us home with talking about this Payment Consortium.
Yeah, thank you, Bob. And the Payment Consortium is something that's very special, I think, within our confederated model. And it is part of the brainchild of Bob and Mike Horsfield of PPS. And we're celebrating our first anniversary. Our first meeting was February of last year. And really, our purpose was to develop, implement, and scale strategies to increase payment, reduce administrative burden for physical therapists, with an overarching mission that we created last February of appropriate physical therapy services for all. Our three goals underneath that overarching mission are decreasing administrative burden, improving commercial payment, which is critically important to all of us in practice, and addressing state payment under Medicaid. And advancing beyond our overarching mission and the identified goals that I just stated, we've had some wins. We've had a calendar of, what are our next steps and achievables. And we've had some wins in states where blood flow restriction has been challenged, and we've won in those states. Some Medicaid issues in each state. And our next steps are what's in front of us now in creating a stronger coalition with PPS, AOPT, and APTA. And we're so well positioned to take up the mantle and hold the torch in the area of payment, especially in the area of private practice. So exciting to see what the last year has been, and even more excited to see what the next year is going to be. So thank you, Bob.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Matt, for sharing that. And this, I think, is probably one of the most exciting initiatives we've had in many, many, many years. And so we are, as Matt said, we're so excited to see where this goes over the next year, 2 years, and onward. And we have already experienced wins, in significant wins in as a result, and we're just in our infancy. I mean, we're really just starting, and already seeing dividends being paid off in this. So it's great that we're going down this path. So that's our 9 bold initiatives for 24. And now what we'd like to do is open it up to opportunities for you to share your comments, ask questions. If you'd like to get clarification, if you'd like to provide comments to anything about this, about our bold initiatives or something else, we're certainly open to hearing that. And if you use your hand, raise hand function, you, I'll recognize you, and we can try and keep this somewhat organized. So go ahead, Dr. McDavid. I recognize you.
Thanks, Bob. I'll just, as usual, just get this thing kicked off and just say that, you know, three-letter word, wow. You guys have really, this is just awesome. I mean, it's visual, it's not just visionary, but what I also see in all of this, even though, you know, people could argue that, well, you know, we've been working on these a number of initiatives. It's not the same. This is very targeted. It's very inclusive. I like the way that you're looking to the membership in all these different domains, because members, it's worthless to members if they can't engage. So you're looking for engagement. Like I said, inclusiveness, and you know, I don't know what to say except that it's bold, it's broad, yet you've laid it out in a targeted way. And I think we just have to really cultivate this message to the membership. And, you know, all of us, you know, many hands make light work, right? So we've got to get everybody engaged. So I applaud the board and everyone that's been working on this for really more than a couple of years. You know, we've had different phases, different presidents have had different barriers to meet. And this is right in tune with where our whole profession needs to go. And I'm just very glad and happy to see that this kind of vision is looked forward by the board. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much for those kind words, Steve. And it's nice to see so many past presidents here this evening. So another one of our past presidents, Dr. Bill Boal, you got the floor, Dr. Boal.
Yeah, thank you, Robert, and greetings, everybody. I just want to commend the board for an aggressive and broad-based plan. I mean, it's exciting to hear what's going on and getting an update. I have three, I think, fairly short questions. First one relates to the innovation practice grants, Bob, that you started off with. Is there a mechanism for grant recipients to report out on their initiative? You know, either on the website or one of the Academy publications. I'd like to know what they did and did it work or not. I mean, we could learn from both successes and things that are not so successful.
Yeah, thank you so much for that question. And you know, one of our bold initiatives is our communications team. And so our communications team will work very closely with the recipients of those grants to help to promote the those innovative practice things. And so it's something that they've really already done. It's not, the grant isn't to create something, it's something that they've already done. And so we will absolutely take the opportunity to promote what they've already done through all of our social media avenues that we have available to us. So yeah, thank you for asking that.
Yeah, that's great. That's good to hear. Question for Derek and the DE&I restructuring. You know, Derek, there's so many other components that have either just creating a DE&I committee or also restructuring their committee. And I mean, I don't know if you can share or not, but are you collaborating, working with APTA National and some other components as you relook at what the Academy is doing?
Yeah, great question, Bill. You know, we're all about not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah. And
we know that the APTA is ahead of us in terms of some of the spaces we want to go. So even over the last 2 years, when we've gone to APTA headquarters, which we've done the last couple of years, we've had a chance to meet with DEI representatives and pick their brain. And so we're building off their framework. There's going to be some things that are a little different, but a lot of things you're going to see very similar that run kind of parallel with what APTA is doing.
Yeah, that's really good to hear. I mean, obviously, we don't need to do everything that other components are doing or APTA is doing, but you're right. There's no sense in reinventing the wheel, and it just seems to be a collaborative effort that's going to move the needle, has the best chance to move the needle. Thank you, Derek. My last question is for
and Bill. Let me, if you don't mind, if I add in, we've also developed and entered into a very close collaborative relationship with AAPT. And I'm working very closely with their president on some collaborative opportunities between the two organizations for us to see what we can do to just make things go smoother within that space.
Nice. That's really good to hear. My last question is for Matt and the research and public policy agenda. Matt, I think access and payment are fairly straightforward. Can you share a little bit about what's on the agenda related to workforce? I mean, I hear different things from different people in our profession that, there's an oversupply of PTs, there's not enough PTs, and, changes in the workforce being projected ahead. Can you share a little bit more on that aspect?
Sure, and it was such an honor to get to lead this incredible think tank of amazing human beings, at APTA a few months ago, and just to hear their perspectives and thoughts. And there were a lot of ideas and thoughts and perspectives as we led to the drivers. And when we landed on workforce, it wasn't quite as much, APTA is a workforce report that came out right before the pandemic. And obviously that looks very different now. And I think we all have our perspectives. But when we were talking about workforce, it was more in the area of administrative burden, burnout, and what are the sort of the negatives that are affecting our workforce today. So not necessarily from a demographic standpoint of workforce, but more so what's impacting our workforce. And I don't know if that fully answers your question. So.
Yeah, it does, Matt. Thanks. And it certainly fits in with the strategic plan that James went through, that fourth column, professional well-being. So that makes a lot of sense. All right,
yeah,
well, thank you all for everything you're doing.
Yeah, thank you, Bill. And in the public policy agenda was, very intentional to stay close to the strategic plan and help drive it. It was 2 days of discussion with a lot of words, a lot of phrases, a lot of ideas, a lot of just wonderful discussion to land in these 3 spaces. So excited to see what that looks like. And as I said, there's going to be a call coming out to have people join to create some goals and measurables in this space. So feel free to hop in.
All right. Thanks everybody for everything you're doing.
Thank you so much, Bill. And I'd love to point out that 2024 AOPT is celebrating its 50th anniversary, and Bill is chair of our planning committee for that celebration. And so we have lots of events going on throughout the year, and of course CSM will be one of those events where we'll have a huge, and I think I've been told I can't call it an extravaganza. Probably I've been told I can't call it a couple of things. I'm not sure what I can call it, but the Friday evening of CSM is going to be a huge party, and of course we hope everybody who's there in Boston will join us for that extravaganza or party or whatever I'm allowed to call it. So anyway, and I thank Dr. Boisnault and Tara and all the other staff members who have been part of the planning for that. Other comments, questions? I see I'm going to go to the chat. Nancy Durbin had a question. Could the Pain Sig have a student Pain Sig engagement community? Yeah, so I mean, I don't think we've had limits. We're not putting limits on this. So I think that would be I think that's definitely something that's a really good idea for us to do. So
Bob, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So we've had a lot of students that have expressed an interest, and I've told them to hold tight because we're going to try and come up with, with something and get them engaged in some capacity. So as you were explaining the communities and knowing that there's a student one, I think that might be a great opportunity and a great way to get them engaged and keep them engaged. And I'm looking forward to learning more about it, getting more information, and then getting that out to the students that contact me or any of the members of the PAINSIG looking for a way to engage.
Sure, absolutely. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, ideas? We're always looking for new ideas, especially if it involves making money. Go ahead, Janice.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yes, the question that I have got is, been a member, for about 20 or 25 years. The problem I run into the most anytime I want to contact, I have a question, and sometimes I'm not even sure where I'm going to find the information, whether it's APTA, AOPT, one of the SIGs, and it's kind of like it's all operated, they're like silos. And I've gotten so frustrated. Now I have different passwords for everything, different logins, the whole thing. It's made it very difficult as just a clinician to actually go to find out resources, or just like, do we have anything going with that? Where is that going to be addressed with this? Because as just a practicing clinician, and I mean, I've been a regular at CSM in my own district back in Texas, but I'm having trouble with the communication as far as resources and where to go. There's so many places now.
Yeah, I certainly understand that. And there's a lot of complexities, with the websites, and it seems like the websites get changed a lot. APTA is always trying to upgrade and improve their website. And so it seems like every couple of years there's a change in the website, and then you got to learn how to navigate the new website. And so I certainly understand what, some of the problems that you're talking about. And, I don't know that I really have a great answer though. Other than, if what I would say is you could always contact me and then let me know what you're looking for, and then I'll direct you. I'll do my best to direct you to where I think would be the best place. Because I don't know that I have a better answer at this moment. So go ahead, Tara.
One thing that I would like to offer to you is, please feel free to call the AOPT office. Because one thing that we really pride ourselves in is when we hear from members calling that they can't believe that a human being answered the phone, and that we were able to take our time with them. We have a membership of 16, 17,000 people, but we have a staff of about 8 to 9, and we're happy to help. That's what we're here for. So if you're feeling frustrated, Janice, please, give us a call and we can help direct you where you may need to go. And I understand there's a lot of information on the websites. That's for certain. And you find yourself getting lost in all the information overload. So please call our office and we'll be happy to help as best we can.
And let me say, you have been. That's what usually I'm so frustrated by the time I reach one of y'all that it's kind of like, okay, just calm down. I have a live person, but I have been very impressed once I have reached y'all. I just had that tendency to think, well, there's got to be an easier way to find it online. There's got it on one of our various websites. So thank you for knowing that I'm not bugging y'all, because I have yes, thanks.
Thank you, Tara. I see a message from Bill in the chat that the FSPT has made professional well-being a priority for the past 3 to 4 years, and they're developing an assessment tools and resources for individuals and practices. So this may be a good group for us to consider engaging and collaborating with. So thank you very much. Appreciate that, Bill. So another question, is there a way AOPT assists with OCS training or providing resources to the members? And, you know, one of the independent study courses that we produce is called Current Concepts. And we believe it's a very strong educational product tool to assist people with preparing for the OCS. And in fact, the feedback that we receive is that that it is really valuable and beneficial. So my feedback and what I direct people to do is to investigate that Current Concepts independent study course. And it's if you go onto the AOPT website and then look under independent study courses, it's available. It's really easy to find. So next question is, will AOPT members be able to read the JOSPT cases in the future? I don't know the answer to that. We are currently not considering making that a member benefit. So we don't, so that there's nothing pending in that direction. So it's not to say that it's not going to happen or that it's never going to happen, but it's not something that's going to happen in the very near future. We have about 10 minutes left. Well, it's I don't want to just take time. It's always nice to be able to give people time back. So if everybody's okay, then we will go ahead and end this virtual town hall. It's I'm want to thank everybody for who's presented, for sharing all of your wisdom, and thank those of you who provided comments for your kind words, and for all of you who participated. Really appreciate you attending. The goal of these is to improve engagement with our members. That's really, why we do this. And so we're really thankful to have the opportunity to meet you and have a chance to share what we're doing with you, and then give you a chance to ask us questions and share your thoughts and comments with us. And we look forward to seeing you for the next one. And if you're at CSM, join us for the party. We have a great panel discussion going on Friday from 11 to 1. And that'll be really exciting. We'll have the past presidents and then some other guest panelists talking about future trends. And Then we have, of course, our award ceremony. And one thing that's going to be different about CSM this year is that, and it's really started off because the venue was just so challenging with trying to find a time and a place to hold our general membership meeting. So it really forced us into considering options and being innovative. And so it's really a pilot this year. We'll see how it goes, but we're going to do our annual membership meeting virtually after CSM. And so it's going to be held on March 5th, Tuesday, March 5th. And we'll be sending out lots of memos and notices. Tuesday, March 5th from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll give this a try and see what happens. And what we're hopeful for is that many people other than those who are just attending CSM will be able to attend. So that's the hope, and we'll see what happens. So anyway, hope everybody has a great night. Hope to see you at CSM, and thank you very much. Take care.